Good morning! Welcome to another edition of my vlog. By the way, I'm not playing any audio from the video itself. I don't want to give out too much of a spoiler to you guys, so that's something you can look forward to while you're watching the episode for those who have not watched it as yet. My sister and I finally watched season 8 episode 1 of Game of Thrones today, just a few minutes ago. I'm really exhausted because I was up all night. I was so excited I could not sleep, and I had to, and I was waiting for you guys to to upload this video to show you guys as well. So this vlog is a recap and a review of what went down in season 8 episode 1. So here we go. Right, so when we enter into the first episode, it's Daenerys entering and visiting Winterfell with Jon by her side. So it's quite an interesting and bleak situation because the north is not a side a place which easily welcomes people, and is easily seen here when Daenerys makes entrance into Winterfell. Also we can see that Aria is also now matured, so to speak, because now back in the day when she was young and when the previous king came to Winterfell, he's one who would stand up, get into the carriage, and but this time she's much more mature. She's an adult and she stays back while allowing the other child, as you can see in the video right here, the other child to go and see as to what's happening. So as Daenerys keeps moving on, the rest of the lords and ladies are not happy, and it's also noticeable when Daenerys meets with Sansa. And as we move on, our little imp finally, the main actor rather, has now finally met with his long lost wife Sansa. He addresses her here as Lady of Winterfell, and she finally recognizes him and addresses him the hand of the Queen, right? But as this conversation progresses, and when this is actually after Stu tells the rest of the lords and ladies of Winterfell that the Lannister army is going to support them in this fight with the dead. Sansa, as she has told and proven so many times before, she has also herself said that she has learned so much from Cersei. So we are made to believe that she knows more about Cersei than any of us, even more than her own family does, right? So the moment Sansa tells this guy that you be the wisest man, or I thought you're the smartest, wisest man I ever knew, but so because Cersei is not a person to be trusted, that's why she says this. As we move on here, finally come to the point where Aria meets with her brother Jon, right? And this is a very heartfelt moment, guys. Why? Because we know Aria is a lady who has had a rough time. She went through great difficulty, but that made her strong as well, yes. But she's a person who seldom, we see her in this series, who seldom smiles and has joy in her expression. But this moment here when she meets Jon and asks and meets him in Winterfell, look at that smile, it's unbelievable. So it's a very touching moment. Another exciting thing that happens here is Jon Snow rides a fucking dragon. Right? So who else do we know who rides a dragon? Only one, right? The Dragon Queen, the mother of dragons. So this shows that Jon's correct lineage, that he is a Targaryen, right? That he is the rightful heir to the throne. So this complement to the fact that what we are about to witness probably here in this episode, where we were told in the previous season that he is the heir to the throne. So it's quite impressive here as well. And I believe there's a part here where Daenerys and Jon are getting closer and closer to each other, especially after she learns and sees for herself that he can ride the dragons without any much problem at all. So I think there's an intimate scene that's going on here, and that may be a scene that was cut from Scream. Since it's HBO, I'm not quite sure. So we'll wait and see until it's out on a RIP link or something. But yeah, so that's what's happening right there. Right, so this is an important part as well, where Sam Tully finally meets with the Dragon Queen, right? And because her knight, one of her advisors, was healed thanks to Sam's handiwork back in the previous season. So she comes here to personally to thank him for his services and for his help. But Sam comes to the cruel realization that his father and brother were killed by Daenerys' hands due to their treachery, and because they did not bend the knee and worship her or notice her as their queen. So the way Sam takes and handles it, and the way he compliments it with his expressions is unbelievable, right? Look at this. It's hardly a few words. He's hardly spoken at all. I mean, once you watch the episode, you actually know he just breaks down internally, right? And then what happens next? He just goes and confronts Jon as to what Daenerys has done. Obviously, Jon is not aware of this, right? Because Daenerys has not told him this part of the story. It just happened way before Jon and her met. But what is not important here is this is a fact which we are already aware, where Jon is the heir to the Iron Throne. But what's important here is how Jon reacts to this information that Sam tells him here, right? It's all there in his face. Look at that. It's unbelievable, right? The acting and the facts delivered by Sam here and giving it to Jon, Kit Harington, is beautifully and meticulously done and created and crafted, and extremely well perfected in the acting and delivery. Guys, this is an amazing take here by directors of Game of Thrones. It was only around 45 minutes, not much. But we are definitely hungry for more. I know I'm hungry for more. But it's only going to be 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, for this season. So the next few episodes are going to be, I think, more than an hour long. But now that you come to the cruel realization that there's only 6 weeks for this, or rather 5 more weeks for this to go. Wow. Anyway, so that was the recap and review, episode 1 of season 8. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you have any thoughts, whether you liked it or disliked it, what do you think would have happened more? What do you think will happen later if you have not read the book? What are your ideas? What do you think? Who do you think will get the throne? Leave it all there. Leave it all there. Let's go crazy. So next week